Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Starfish Diaries. We are Tessellate, a production company based out of LA, based out of Tokyo, based out of London. And we're making our first feature film. It's an independent feature film. And every other week we put up a Starfish Diary where we talk about the film and the entire year, like annual, not annual, we're not going to do this every year. I take that back immediately. The entire year process of going through pre-production, actual shooting, post-production, to the final result and the release. And the film is called Starfish. I'm the writer-director. I'm Al White. Joining me today for a very special episode on Location Scout is my business partner and dear friend,
Tanro. Hi.
I don't know who
you
you
don't my name is Nathan. I'm a co-producer. If you don't know me,
I don't recognize you, but
also,
thanks for joining.
I'm an AD, so I'm going to make sure that this guy over here is working expediently.
And we have a special guest.
Special guest all the way from Spain. No, gift. A special gift
from Spain.
From Spain.
Yeah. Alberto Bañares.
Alberto Bañares.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, man. I appreciate it.
No, thank you.
You flew out from Spain just for this?
Yes.
Very kind.
Definitely.
Very kind.
Thank you.
Oh, fuck. Guys, so...
I think we've tanned a little bit since the last one.
That's kind of you to call it a tan.
Red.
Yeah, red.
I'm just sunburnt all over, hidden by the shirt.
And there's a good reason for it, right?
There is.
Yeah.
We're on Location Scout again. We're back where we began, Nate.
We are.
Well, I mean, not literally, but emotionally. We started, the first episode of this series was in South Dakota when we were on Location Scout a few months ago now, 3 months ago, whatever it would be. And South Dakota didn't quite work out, so we came to Colorado now. We're shooting November, December, so we're a few months out still. Where are we now? We are now mid-July.
Yep.
Yes.
So we've got just over 4 months still shooting.
Yep.
We've come to do, a whole group of us, to do Location Scout in Colorado. So we're going to talk a bit about that this episode. We're going to talk a little bit about casting, maybe.
What's up with the casting?
And we're going to talk about DPing.
Yes, we should.
Because we won't have Alberto again until we're shooting, so you'll
Never.
get to hear more from him or tears or something during the actual shoot. But for right now, just hopeful projections for how things could be.
All right. I can do that.
Nate,
Yes.
you tend to throw questions at me pretty well. Where do you want to start the conversation this week?
Let's start with the ever sticky wicket of casting.
Casting.
Where are we?
So on the last episode of this, we had a running thing where we kept checking the phone because we were trying to see if we were going to get good news, and we lobbied that over to Geeks because we recorded Geeks straight away afterwards. No news came through.
Right.
We do have good news. We have cast our lead. I was going to say character, but that's not quite right. Lead actress for our lead character.
Yay!
So we're very, very happy. We're sadly not allowed to say who it is yet. But that will be coming. But we're fucking. Well, I'm fucking elated.
Well, she's brilliant.
She's absolutely brilliant. She's very talented. She's incredibly dedicated, and is just genuinely one of the nicest people I've met, probably ever. But for sure in Hollywood, she's just very responsive and very interested, and very, very excited.
Can we say
very
that
exciting.
she is an up-and-coming actress?
Well, you just
said So you can say whatever you want to say, Tanner.
Yeah.
So that's really, really exciting, and it makes everything, like, I'm much happier inside. It makes everything easier. It makes this process easier because we can envision scenes easier, obviously. And it was so like the next stage of casting will happen in September, when we get into the other characters. But predominantly, as we said a lot of times, this film is about one person in every scene. So it was incredibly crucial, and it was a long, exhausting process. But we did it.
Yeah.
We're out.
Yep.
We're very, very happy.
Yep.
Well,
Done.
good job.
I can stop crying at night.
So, considering that we can't mention who, and there'll be more details coming in later episodes,
we will definitely have an announcement.
let's just move on to locations for now. Considering right now we're in Vail, Colorado.
We are.
And we've been location scouting around Colorado.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? South Dakota, Colorado? Which do you prefer? Where are you at?
Colorado. What's your next question?
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, we've looked around a bunch. So we're not going to name the exact places that we're thinking of shooting yet, but we've looked at a lot of Colorado.
Yeah.
We came in and we looked at a couple of places.
Lots of driving.
Today was my first day not driving, I think, for
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
But anyway, we came in, we looked at a couple of places I knew of, which I thought weren't going to work out. and we planned to spend all of our time further east, actually, in Colorado, around a kind of number of towns. And we moved on there. That's when Nate joined us. But yeah, they weren't working out at all. And the first couple we looked at, it's kind of what seemed to be our favorites. Had a good reaction from.
What's been fascinating me is that. Sorry.
No.
What's been fascinating is that, you know, in this day and age, we think that we can find anything online, especially like Google Street.
Yeah.
You know, and then when we do come to the place, we realize that it doesn't quite accurately present what the place is like, and you can never get the vibe of the town or the city, and that's crucial for the film.
Yeah, I think you can kid yourself as much as you want, but yeah, it's been a real learning experience of, obviously you never really know the vibe until you're there, but like, yeah, some we've looked at.
Yeah.
And, you know, we made up a brochure of stuff of like this town, here's all the stats, here's some photos. And some looked how other ones actually ended up being, and the other ones, you know, in the brochure didn't look that interesting at all.
Google search lies.
It does lie.
Yeah.
So no, we had to come out here, and I'm very happy that you were able to join us, obviously, Alberto, and, you know, we could have so many of us here to check it all out. I'll be back again in September to continue that. And in between, we will have to have location scouts, but yeah, we couldn't have done it without coming out here first and getting an idea for stuff, because I think we would have pointed those location scouts in the wrong directions completely. And that would have been really detrimental to the project. So it's good now because we've got a couple of places that we really, really like. Which we're going to kind of mesh together to create our town, and then we might have to sprinkle in a couple of other locations to bulk it out to what we need.
What's also really great about the options that we have are that they're geographically not too far from each other. So
the maximum drive is like 2 hours, I think. Which is good.
2 hours in the summer, in the winter.
Yeah, that's really I've been on this main road. Cause we're asking like locals and friends here, you know, when we get up to these little towns, like, how's the access? Oh, the access is fine. I've been up and down this road like 4 times on the main freeway. I've just been locked off. You can't get through. You have to stay in a little town and stuff. So it's definitely something for us to consider, because we're looking for as much snow as we can get.
Yeah, so just to give some background information, we're looking for somewhere with specific buildings. It needs to have good enough snow for the shoot. We want to block off some streets if we can, which is much harder when you are in a bigger city.
On our budget as well.
Yeah, exactly. What else?
Well, there's just a lot of contradictory things. That's really, I mean, for me, but I want to pass it to you in a second, but for me, the biggest challenge has been that balance of some of the things that look cooler for us aren't in the places where we're going to get any reliable snow whatsoever, or aren't in the places where we can get the access that we want, or just the easy, friendly vibe of people who are just really nice and really kind of like, come do this, we can help out. And that's always a really hard decision. It's like, well, do you want the thing where you're getting, you know, a certain look, or you're getting the easy environment to work in, or do you push for the exact right location sort of style, but then you're not getting, you know, these other elements? It's definitely been, I mean, it's my fault because I wrote it that way, but it's definitely been another learning experience of, I kind of had an idea in my head of what this little middle of nowhere American town was going to be, and I've done a good amount of driving around America. You think I'd know better? Apparently I didn't, because I'm really just mixed bits from cities and little towns, and it's like, that's a hard. Those have been some of the hardest decisions, I think, of what's most important.
But the positive thing is that we have found at least 2 options per location. Overall. Yeah.
And then for the major couple, there's an apartment that's in at least 60% of the film or something like that, I'd say. And that we haven't had the time to handle that because there's just so many. So we've looked at a few. You guys kindly went back today and got some cool contacts. But that's definitely for the location scouts. They're going to have to send us a lot. And I mean a lot of options for that, and then I'll come back.
And it's been amazing to meet new people. Like, they've been really nice. Yeah.
That is a benefit, honestly, of a lot of these small towns, and they're so nice, and like, people are so cool.
Yeah, very helpful.
How are you finding it, Alberto?
Yes.
So your first time in Colorado?
Yes.
How'd you like it?
Good. I mean, at the beginning, I was a bit nervous because I didn't know exactly what you wanted in terms of the size of the city and the size of the locations. So I was trying to understand your vibe before anything, and I think yeah, everything came together. So we were discovering the locations at the same time. I was discovering what were you talking about when you were thinking about these scripts. It was, interesting mix, and I definitely think I appreciate the vibe that the area that we are in particular has, and yeah, I don't know, it's something very subtle and very, maybe it's emotional thing. But once I came here, it's like, for me, this is the place. Maybe it's harder for some things, and for other things it's easier. But definitely, I sense that it was the place for me. So
It's the environment as well, isn't it? Like it's got some really great landscapes. For us are exciting.
Very exciting.
You know when Alberto's happy because he does either the one hand, which means quietly happy, or the two hands. Very happy. Nate, you kind of jumped in, midway through our thing, so we just sort of been scoping you through stuff. You liking our kind of what we're hemming down to at the moment?
Yeah, I love the locations. I think logistically they both can work perfectly well. And one thing is, yesterday we were supposed to meet up with some contacts where we were, and the one cell tower for the whole town went out, so the whole town just descended in chaos, which is fine during a location scout, but if there are a lot of moving pieces during production, that could be a potential challenge. But I doubt it's unlikely to happen.
We'll have long-range walkie-talkies as well and stuff like that, and people on different networks.
We will. But no, I'm very pleased with the vibe. The energy is good. Accommodations will be reasonable. I'm trying not to sneeze.
Was that a sneeze?
That was a cough sneeze.
Ah, bless you.
Allergies, that's a thing here.
It is, and altitude is actually a big thing. So one of the places, so that we've really, try to get these two places and not too far away from each other to get accommodation. A big thing for me with my producer hat on, and a producer Tamara with yours, and like Nate with you figuring out stuff, is kind of having a place where you can keep everyone in one town and they can walk to work most days, really. Like these are small towns. But the altitude is high.
It is.
So like one of these
high.
in particular is like 10,500 feet high. And that makes it tough. Like everything you're doing, everything you're lugging, it is tough.
Yeah.
And in all seriousness, we're just talking about how we need to kind of work out before we come back for the shoot in November. Because it is a factor.
Yeah, and if we can, it would be good to get as many people as we can out early on to just the altitude.
To train.
I mean, not to train, but just a day to adjust. Altitude sickness is a real thing.
Yeah.
If you have a crew, a decent sized crew, you can be assured that at least one person is going to suffer from.
Yep.
We may need
if
to,
not me.
And you get really the sun's really powerful at that altitude as well.
yeah.
So you get a combination of sunstroke and altitude sickness, and guarantee someone will.
we could get one of those things that you put on and you
A respirator.
breathe.
Oh,
Yeah.
oxygen.
Oxygen. Yeah.
They sell oxygen in little bottles up here. You can buy them.
Yeah. I want to share the story.
Crafty.
I want to share the story of hiking we did.
Oh, you want to boast about the story of hiking we did. Nate,
Yeah.
if you step out for a second. Allison,
Yes.
come on in, Allison. Hiking partner. Well, Allison's coming over. Tamara, what happened? What was our greatest day of victory?
So Al, our director, really wanted to get up to the snowy bit of the mountain, which is quite high up.
Well, no. Actually, what happened was we were standing
No?
somewhere. I saw it and I said, I really want to shoot up there. And then Alberto said, well, let's go then.
Oh,
It's my
you
fault.
did!
Yeah. So it's Alberto's fault. Sorry, this is Allison. She's
Alison,
my personal assistant. She's been helping out with a billion things and she's fantastic. She's normally on the other side of the camera just judging us with
Hiding.
eyes. Yeah.
so it was 4 of us who did the hiking.
Yes.
You started it, okay.
Yeah,
And what happened then?
We got very wet. That's what happened. It was, because this is the problem with mountains, is that you see something, you think, oh, that's cool, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour. And it was actually didn't take us that long in the end,
No, I didn't.
but it felt like about a day. But the thing is, what you don't see is all these bits.
Yeah.
So like to get up, there's so many different types of terrain, and the woods looked kind of okay, but then you look at them, you're like, you can't really, they're so inaccessible.
And we are sitting down now, but these two are very tall. I'm somewhere in the middle, So there were some bushes where they could walk through with their heads above the
Yeah, we're
bush.
okay.
But when Alison came in,
She's
I would
literally.
disappear.
They were,
I'd stick my hand up and wave so they knew I was still on my way.
that was fucking brilliant. There's one bit where I lost you guys, and I was kind of looking, and I could see Alberto's head just bobbing along. I was like, "What happened to Alison and Tanro?" And then you see the little hand. And a lot of marsh. So it was really hard getting around lakes, going through water.
yeah, it was.
But anyway,
But it's a good location.
yeah, we got to the top because we were
Yeah.
determined. There was snow at the top, and there was a beautiful green glade, and it was where we were hoping would look good for the opening of the film, for a very particular, very cool opening that we planned out. And I'm sure there'll be other places. I really, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
maybe it was just the hike talking, but there was something magical. Well, like when we did finally get up there, and you get to this crest, and you can see into the next. I won't even say valley because it's just like the opposite side of the mountain range, and you can look in both directions, and they both look radically different. One has kind of industrial mining, the other side is just natural landscapes and mountains. Behind me was kind of like a rubble mountain. And then
Yeah.
on the side you're on, Alberta, was just these beautiful rolling hills, which the light was hitting them really nice and low and stuff. And we got a lot of footage of that. I might be cutting some in now. Am I? Is it happening?
What?
Could be. We don't know. If I'm not lazy, you're seeing some images right now. But
I guess also like there is something to be said about leadership. We kind of felt it during the hike because Al would just
it's not cool.
keep going and going and going.
Sprint.
I lead by example, guys. And my example is run until you run out of energy and then lie down for a minute, and then run until you run out of energy and then lie down for a minute.
But you were saying about the importance of number two,
Yeah.
who follows the
leader.
leader. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were directly meant to be following.
Yeah. I didn't.
Went off in some weird directions sometimes. So yeah,
Yeah.
really, I don't think that's my fault, Tamara. I'm sorry. I think that
I'm
is
not
the
saying it's your
number two
fault.
fault.
No.
Number
No.
two fault.
Yeah.
Different styles.
We got there in the end.
Yeah, of course.
Alison, do you have a good day
Today or hiking?
today?
I did have a good day today. Thank you for asking.
That's
Did you?
cool. Yeah, that's all right. Today's our last day in Colorado. We just had our last meal. It's past midnight now, so we're all a
Yeah.
bit wide. So apologize.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay. So, is there anything else we need to say with locations? Because I really want to move on to talking about DP stuff.
Yeah, I think we should move on.
You don't want to talk about DP stuff? And then after, I've got my list, and what I've written down is going to talk about casting, which we did,
Yeah.
locations, DP stuff, and then we're just going to discuss Allison for a little bit. Because I've got that.
That's what I'll lead.
Alison?
Alison.
Alison.
Alison. Oh yes.
Alison.
So
No, no.
No,
this area has many many town names.
Oh, okay, this story's okay.
Based on the maybe
Spanish.
kind of.
What language?
What language is that
What
again?
language?
But the way they
boy.
pronounce here is very different from the way you pronounce.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's been
Alberto's been
Latino,
pretty grumpy.
right?
Yeah. I'm a bit grumpy about it.
That's what you hear. You hear to educate.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to educate you guys, but
It's Salad Town. Yeah.
yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I won't say the real name. I like Buena Vista was like
Buena Vista.
Buena Vista.
But they have a nickname. It's Buny or Buna.
Buny.
or
Yeah.
something
Buna
ridiculous.
is
Yeah.
Buena Vista.
Well-
To be fair, it's their town.
yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
they want to
Yeah,
call it,
sure.
they can call it.
But it's
Yeah.
referencing the Spanish language. When you look up the town, it says this is named after, whatever word in Spanish,
Yeah, yeah.
yet they pronounce it Buny. or
Well, I
Buna.
got
They-
really
they enjoy
confused
this.
about there is Copper and Cooper.
Cooper, yeah.
Yeah. And they're,
Yeah.
And poor Alberto's been suffering from bad cough the entire time.
Yeah. I'm trying not to die now.
You doing okay?
Yeah. So far.
Do you want to talk about DP stuff?
Alright.
Okay, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
So DP stands for
genuine question some people have asked me, so it's good to
Really?
let people. Yeah, of course, because it's very nice. Like we have some people who don't know
Yeah.
that much about the behind stage stuff of film yet.
Director of photography.
Director of photography. In the UK, we tend to call it DOP
Dope.
because for some reason the of seems to be important to us.
Oh, yeah.
But in the US, just DP. Did confuse
Yeah.
me when I first came here.
Yeah.
Pretty simple to figure out, but confused me for longer than it should have.
And there's
Cinematographer. But that
cinematography.
tends to be, correct me if I'm wrong, when you've kind of established yourself to a certain level in feature films, or is it in anything?
I don't have a sense of difference between these.
You don't have a sense of
Okay.
difference? I've met some DPs where they kind of like, they feel cinematographer is something you have to earn.
Maybe for people here in Spain, it's not much difference.
Okay.
Okay, so we can call you cinematographer?
I'm calling myself cinematographer in my website because I have to choose, and if
Yeah,
it
yeah,
fit better.
And the website is here.
Oh, Jesus, man. I get sleepy. Sometimes. You got to change the points of where the radius is. It's very tight. So, this is our one chance to have you here to talk a little bit about DP work. Do you want to talk a bit about your background? Where you you come from Spain, clearly.
Yeah.
What have you done before? How did we meet? What's your particular kind of, style of DP? Like, what do you like to do? What don't you like to do? Give us a little bit of the Alberto history.
All right. So I ended my studies in 2007, and I then was working doing different camera assisting, gaffering, even I was a still photographer in a couple of feature films, a bit of everything till 2012 when actually we met in London. At that time I decided to jump to cinematography job, and since then I've been working. Well, at the beginning it was a bit hard, but now it's more consistent. I got an agent in Spain, and now I mainly do commercials, like lots of commercials, some music videos, and hoping to jump to feature films, which actually this is going to be my first.
Yeah.
Our first.
It's a lot of firsts.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
us. And is there a particular, I don't know, because when I look at your stuff, I get a very definite style from you of what you like to embrace. Do you have certain rules or certain things which for you are key things for you with the project?
No, I guess I just feel comfortable with some themes and some moods, and but I wouldn't feel that I have a style.
Sorry, Nate just disappeared. You don't feel you have a style? You definitely have a style.
But I wouldn't know how to describe it. I mean, I know I like dark, moody, atmospheric environments. I don't like to overlead. I don't like brightness. Maybe I should define my style by saying what I don't like.
Yeah, okay.
Which is those things actually. So yeah, but I'm trying always, to put myself out of my comfort zone to learn things and try not to be someone who is always doing the same thing. So yeah, it's two things at the same time.
It's the reason why I'm not just saying this because we're on camera and stuff. I'm so crazy happy to have you as my DP on this, because honestly, I had two people on my list of DP, and you were my top choice. And if neither of those two people worked out, I was just going to do it myself, not because of any ego, but just in terms of I just don't trust people very well. And particularly for my first feature film, it was my fault. And you are one of the only person I've ever met who I would trust completely, because you have a phenomenal artful eye, but you're really ballsy with stuff. And we're doing some very weird, crazy stuff with this film.
Mm-hmm.
And we're playing around, we're breaking some rules with it as well and stuff.
Yeah.
And you are happy to break those rules, but you tend to either meet people who are like, no, you can't do that, or people who are like, yeah, fuck it, let's go. Whereas you're thoughtful about it. You'll be like, I'll get back to you in a few days. And you'll go away and you'll think about it and you'll come back to me and we'll discuss it. And everything has to be emotionally, has to make sense for the character or for the narrative, whatever aspect it is that's most important for that story, which is what I really, really love about you. And sometimes I have to kind of convince you, but this just looks cool. So just forget about that for 1 second. But that's what you're always going to because I have that side of me, but I have a very commercial side to me as well. And I like that. I know you're going to be weighing this side of me down the whole time. So hopefully I can focus a bit more on this and we'll end up with something
in the middle.
Hopefully, in the middle. So really thank you for joining us on this project.
Yeah. For me, I have been on fair amount of feature film sets. And everything has to work together to make a great movie. But if I were to choose the most important sort of relationships, I would say it's the director, DP, first AD. Those three. When these three work really well together, like everything goes really smoothly. Yeah, so I'm quite excited about what we've got here. And so us three worked together before
Yeah.
Yeah.
on
Yeah, so we met. The first thing you and I actually worked together was a 48-hour
Yeah.
sci-fi challenge for quite a prestigious festival in London, sci-fi London film, whatever it's called, London Sci-Fi Festival, I think it's called, or something like.
yeah, I think so.
And they do a 48-hour yearly challenge, which we entered into together. We had actually been talking about working on different projects, which didn't work out. So that was the first thing. Tamara, very, very kindly, who I'd already worked with before, offered to like come and help us out as well on that project. And yeah, we got in. There was like 400 submissions, and we got in the top 10, which was really, really cool. And it's still genuinely one of my favorite things I've ever worked on and ever done. And made me realize just how much I like that pressure. You know, sometimes that can really bring out great stuff, because there's been stuff I procrastinated about for 9 months and it hasn't turned out as well because you're overthinking it sometimes, and it can be good to be reactionary like that and just have to be creative very, very quickly.
And you can watch that short film.
No,
Yeah.
no, you really no. At the end of this video, there'll be "We Are Tessellate" at the bottom. Just click on that. And you can look at all of our stuff. And then we worked on another film after that called "Pulling Away," which we did in square format.
Yeah.
Which was a weird little film, but that did well as well. We got some awards for that, which was very nice.
And you can watch that.
I'm leaving. Yeah, and yeah, we had I loved working with you on both of those. So.
Yeah, I mean, we.
I really did. I let you do square format, inspired by your photos.
Yeah.
He makes beautiful, just the most. You have this beautiful camera which you take along with you everywhere you go. You got it here with you, and you do these beautiful square format photos.
I took a couple of pictures of you, actually.
I don't know. You did a great one with Alison with the hood over her face.
Let's see what happens.
I think I want that to be
The poster.
the poster.
So you're talking about Vietnam is the best place to get cameras.
Well, at that time when I bought it, it was known to be a place where you could buy cheap medium format cameras, actually. And the story was related to the photographers that left the war of the Vietnam. I don't know how true that was.
Yeah.
But certainly there was a good amount of medium format cameras. So if you go to Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, definitely
Buy a camera.
buy a camera.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Bargain a little bit. I was bargaining for a whole afternoon, so yeah, spend some time.
Alison. I'm going to be really serious, like really
Okay.
serious, and I want you to be really serious.
Okay.
Because this is the thing, like the whole point of this is all the different aspects of trying to make an independent film with not much money. Most of us first time working in our roles, at least on a feature film. How is it for you? You've worked like in different facets on some feature film stuff, and you just come out of film school and you've done some pretty cool things actually. You got to be on one of Richard Linklater's things.
I did. I was in the production office though, so it's very different than. Well, no, I'm not discounting it. It was an awesome experience, but it's different than. I wasn't location scouting. I wasn't on set. I wasn't involved with casting or anything like that. I was in an office managing paperwork and day files and shipping hard drives and.
Would you rather be doing that? Because we can
No.
arrange that.
I'm happy to do that in addition to this, but
So
it's a different experience, and this is my first official job out of college, so full-time position, and it's been really, really awesome.
You don't
And
have to say that.
No, it has, and I've told you this before, and you make a sarcastic comment every time, but honestly, like, thank God Al has good taste in people, because everyone that he's introduced me to has been so much fun and so easy to get along with, which makes a huge difference.
You
Especially
realize Nate
when
is passed out drunk.
Where is he, man?
I heard him sniffle. I don't know.
Hey, buddy. Nate, just come in here, buddy. If you're gonna fall asleep, do it on the bed back here, so at least you're in frame.
Yeah.
I think it's hidden.
So for the people who is gonna start doing new features, shootings, how do you find a DP? And how did DP find jobs?
That's a 2 question. Who starts?
You go first.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess in my case, I went to film school, so a large group of contacts that I have come from this place, and then so that's a good point, I guess. Going to film school in my case was something very beneficial, and I met many people, and from then I've been having some work relationships with some of these colleagues that are also film directors. And then I guess it's just a matter of it's not like a unique way to get to this position. It's multiple ways, and I mean, there is one way for each person. And in my case, that I had the good luck to find an agent in Spain pretty soon in my career, so that helped me as well. But actually, I met almost by chance applying to this strange comedy pilot. And I wasn't into comedy at all.
I wasn't into comedy either.
You neither.
That may be why this didn't work out.
But yeah, a bit of luck, a bit of intuition and perseverance, and yeah. What did you?
DPs is weird. I mean, yeah, it's like I said, there's a million ways to do it. Normally, I mean, to begin with, so the beginning of my career, if you want to call it that, of directing, yeah, you'd either put a posting on, depending on which country you're in, very different websites, or yeah, I mean, honestly, or you'd go for referrals from people even at early stage. The later on you get, the more you will go for referrals, or you'll just like, when you see people you like, you write them down, you know? You watch a movie and you like someone, you watch a short film, you like someone, you watch a music video, you write down their name and you find out who it is. Be curious. How about have you heard of this?
No.
Okay.
That's the first time.
Yeah, you should you always have a list. Like, always have a list of people you'd like to work with one day, because you never know. And
that's what we were talking about yesterday, about the fact that the film industry seems to be a little bit closed off at times.
Yeah.
But the main reason for it is that because you'd rather work with that you can work well with.
Yeah.
And the people you can have fun with, because 2 months shooting, or sometimes 3 months, 6 months shooting, you are going to spend very intense time together. So you really have to trust who you're going to work with. Yeah,
for me, personality is almost as important as talent. In some roles, it's more important. As long as they have aptitude and they're able to work hard and learn, I'd rather a good person than the most sort of well-versed person in their role. And yeah, I think it's incredibly important on set. Everyone, people have to get along. And again, that's why I'm so happy with our lead actor has really felt like she's involved with everything with the same sort of ferocity that we are, which when you're doing something low budget and your first thing is really important. And yeah, you want to work with people you've worked with before that you can trust, because you can kid yourself as much as you want, but every project you do, I can't imagine it's ever not scary. I can't ever imagine it's not a risk, particularly as a director when you make a film, because it can really damage your career when you make one bad film. Yeah. Maybe when you get to like Spielberg's level and you don't care anymore and you could risk whatever you want. But yeah, for me, I've been lucky enough to work with a lot of the very nice DPs who've done, normally in very different areas, and most of them have been through referral. Yeah, most of them have been someone I know who met someone who referred someone, and then I go check out their work and see if I like it or not. But yeah, you have to have a chemistry between you of stuff, as far as I'm concerned. Which kind of ties into what Alison was saying.
Exactly.
Very lucky, genuinely so lucky to just be working with nice people at the moment, and I hope that continues into the shoot.
Yep,
really, really do. Okay, do you have anything else to say, Alison?
Oh, you're already laughing.
Do you want to tell your joke?
No.
It's a really good one.
We can bring Nate back out.
No, he's gone for good.
Super speed.
Super speeds. Do you want to talk quickly about super speeds?
No, not really.
Okay. Well,
we could talk actually.
There has been many conversations about super speed.
About lenses.
Let's just leave it that way.
We're shooting with natural light for the most part, and that means you need particular types of lenses. And Alberto wanted a particular type that I kind of promised him, but there was a bit of miscommunication.
For a few years, actually.
For a few years, kind of miscommunication. Yeah.
I mean, that's a difficulty when you're just communicating online, Skyping and
when you have a director who doesn't really know what he's talking about when it comes to lenses. They're technically, I was not wrong. Let's just make this clear. But not the lenses that we're hoping to work with, so we might rent some other ones. But okay, can you give some advice for that then, very quickly, because I don't want to go on too long.
Yeah.
But if you're making a short film, so a lot of people, if you're going out and you're making a short film or maybe a feature, whatever, and you're just going and doing it, you're not going to be able to afford lights, you're not going to be able to afford gaffers and setups and stuff. You just got to work on location with what you can find with natural light. Are there any tips that you give to people in terms of whether it's, what's the most important? Is it more lenses or the camera or how you can utilize certain things or,
I mean, everything is sort of important. The camera, once you get a good camera, I'm talking about Red, Alexas, and those cameras really make a difference when you go outside and you don't have anything to play with. So I would say maybe it's more important the camera, and then of course really close the lenses. And depends on the conditions of your shoot, and if you're planning to shoot night shots or twilight, or maybe you want to think about using lenses that open really to a nice stop, 1.3, 1.5, maybe something like that. So then you have a narrow group of lenses, cheap cinematic lenses. Super speeds are one of these sets of lenses. Maybe you can have the Canon, the K35. Or there's actually not much more. Then you would go to the Master Primes, which are like the top quality ones. But for me, I guess when I'm involved in a project where there is not much money, or it's even like project that I work for free, I always try to get camera, Dragon, Epic. Before it was the Red one. Red one.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Red one was not a great camera.
He would doing his thing.
He was doing his thing, that's for sure.
And Reds, Lexus, Minis, all these new cameras that are like really, really awesome and allows you to, to do great jobs without less light, even like only black fill and just.
So how do you feel about people? Because and you might disagree with this, but from a director's point of view, I'm always trying to say, from my perspective, if someone out there just wants to make something and they don't have much money. Just go get a DSLR or something, like not for features really, but for a short film. Go get a DSLR, do something. You can still make beautiful imagery. Sure, it can't be as controlled, it can't be as finessed in any way whatsoever, but you can still make beautiful stuff with that. With the 5D, with the Mark II and the Mark III, you have full frame sensors there. Like, does that, with the Dragon, I don't really understand the sensor in the Dragon, I'll be honest, because I'm kind of new to it. How does that? Because there's so many different qualities that make a camera good, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You hear full frame, and you think, well, in some ways that's better than some other cameras which are more expensive, in terms of what it's letting in and how it's dealing with the image in that way. Sure, the quality isn't, but if you took like a full frame sensor and like a nice lens that can open up wide, would you caution against that, and instead say, actually, just try and get the money for a nicer camera? And
I mean, I think for people who are starting, and even when I'm involved in projects that there's not much money to be, I prefer to put the money in the story. I mean, if the story is good and you're working on the story and you have a nice thing to tell, and you have really think about that, then even the poorest camera can make a good job, because if the story is good, normally people won't focus so much on the image, rather then the story is bad, then people will start thinking about, you see the compression or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
it's a difficult call. I mean, I would say first the story, and then if you can spend the money, I would say yes, of course, get a nice camera. But if you have like a DSLR, and go for that, and you will learn a lot shooting. Doesn't matter which camera will you use. It's a learning process. I mean, we are learning now. So,
always, yeah. I hope so.
Yeah.
Don't want to be getting worse, but I want to be going up.
Actors?
That's the idea.
Actors, no,
Okay.
just the story. No one to tell the story.
But to be fair, when the story or when the script, especially the lines are good, it makes the job of the actors much easier.
Yeah.
Making bad lines sound good and realistic is a difficult skill.
Yeah, that's a true art.
Yeah.
And I mean, even that, but after having a good story, actors is the second most important thing because then
Thank
again,
No, but it's true.
it's true. I mean,
We joke about it. We keep joking about it a lot.
Yeah, but-
no one really cares about us, but they care about you and they care
Yeah.
about the story because that's what
Yeah.
they're getting at the end of the day.
yeah,
Most
you,
people
you,
don't
you are the
notice.
face that's going to be on the screen, so that's one of the most important things.
And like we were kind of talking about this weird, not weird, but like this beautiful trust you can get on set between the DP and the actor.
Yeah.
Like I give, you take, you give. There's this really interesting sort of dilemma that can happen,
yeah.
which is really nice.
It's very exciting, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while for me since I shot my last short film, so I'm very excited to be, 30 days doing fiction
Narrative
and
stuff.
doing narrative stuff, and thinking about only, then actually not thinking about beauty and the perfect frame. It's more intuitive, so it's more like you are freeing yourself a little bit, and in the way doing some nice stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, actually, it's like a good way. Just go and watch some other films for proof of that. Like, 28 Days Later for me is always one, which is such great proof of how acting, story, and just ferocious directing. And the cinematography is still very good in it, but the equipment is garbage. Like, the equipment looks horrible. And you watch it now on a Blu-ray. I'm not fucking around. It looks horrible, that movie. It takes you a good half an hour to get past how horrible it looks. But it's an incredible movie. Like, it's an incredible movie because it doesn't matter that the technology is really antiquated and it was the beginning of digital before HD was even out,
Yeah.
There's no finesse to the technology there at all, but they're still telling a great story with great actors and they're just, ballsy directing.
Yeah.
I always remember that shot when the drop of blood comes into the eye.
Oh, yeah, there
That's
isn't
a
it? Yeah.
beautiful shot.
Yep. Yeah. So honestly, for me, and I think you're right in there, it's like the experience and your kind of process of how you're telling the story is more important than the equipment. But obviously, at the end of the day, yes, it's nice to have the nicest lenses and the
Nice to
nicest
have,
camera and everything
Yeah.
else. All right. I think we've gone on long enough this episode.
Yep.
Thank you very
Nathan?
much, Nate.
Nate, he's gone.
Thank you very much
Taken.
for joining us. We'll be back in 2 more weeks. You can follow us on all the social media. It's the easiest way. Go to wearetessellate.com. Really is
There
going to be
you
here
go.
this time. You can link there to all of our social medias where we are Tessellate on all of them. We have a weekly show called Geeks. Thank you. Where we talk about topical news with movies and video games and stuff like that. That goes up every single Tuesday night. And we have a bunch of other podcasts that are going up, and we have some web series that are going to be going up soon, some new short films and things, and you can link out. We're gradually growing our groups content that will be online. We're sort of like working out. It's a cool new short film by one of our new friends, Adrian Auld, that we should hopefully be able to put up at some point soon.
You will probably see our gift battle again in November.
A gift.
Gift.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm the gift now.
Yeah.
November. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I was just unmoved that he called you a gift. If you want to follow Tamara Rashida on Twitter and send him inappropriate messages, what do you do?
Twitter, Instagram is the best ways. Tanro Ishida.
Simple.
TANROHISHIDA.
Oh well.
And Alberto, how can people see your lovely work?
Just Google my name, Alberto Bañares.
And then what's your Instagram? Is that the same or
Yeah.
you have to think about it.
Alberto _Banares, I think, without the ñ.
With the Enya.
Ñ.
That's a band, I think.
Yeah, the ñ with it.
Okay. Alison, if people want to just ask you
Follow.
questions about life and good advice on life,
Good advice on
where
life.
should they do it? Oh, actually, can you? What's your? Do you have a Twitter?
I don't use it.
Do you have an Instagram?
I do.
What is it?
She's
It
very
is-
popular.
It is Ali Sue.
Ali Sue.
ALLY.
That's a good one. How do you get Ali Sue? Were you in there early?
Sue's my middle name.
No, I understand.
Oh, yeah.
I understand why.
Yeah, no, I had to have Ali Sue because just Ali H and Ali whatever I usually use was taken.
Ali Sue.
And I didn't want to have a bunch of numbers.
So on Instagram, people can just send you DMs and then you choose whether to accept them, or do they just send you DMs? Because
I don't
strangers
know.
can
I
send
think
you
it might
stuff.
depend on if you're public or private.
Yeah.
You
I
follow?
guess also you could like write a message, take a photo of it, and just
And
post.
tag
That's complicated.
Instagram and message. Tag the person you want to see.
Sounds like more work than any communication is worth to me.
Not
Yeah,
that
so if
exciting,
you
no
could
need.
follow Ali Sue on Instagram and please just send her constant messages to ask her to do the joke on our next episode. That'll be as many messages as possible.
That video is going to be like 30 minutes. It's
Fill the inbox. I'm Mr. Al White on all the social medias. I have a personal website as well with all that stuff. Thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you.
We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Until then, we're out.
Well,
Now, it's late. We've got to go back. Because we've got to drive to Denver tomorrow.
yeah.
It's officially finished, but we'll just see.
But Nathan's gone already.
Nathan is.
I think he's actually dead.
Whoops.
I'm gonna go check
Uh-oh.
him.
the Dayquil that.
Thanks, guys.
Did he take the
Take?
Don't mix the Dayquil with the NyQuil.